Welcome in, Wizards. We've got the January episode of the podcast looking back on the month of December from 2022. We've got our December winner, Satish, on board. He's ready, he's waiting, and now he's made some money. But yes, we've got the January episode. We're going to be chatting Crown Anchor coming up for the next couple game weeks. We've got a new feature that Mandela introduced and sprung on us all with nobody knowing. So make sure you take a listen to the episode, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Hey Nate, happy 2023.
What's going on, Bob? 2023.
Yeah, we got some fireworks. Yeah, we did it. We made it. Yeah, we made it. We made it to 2023. So the for anybody who's just maybe if you're not a part of the league or this is your first season with us, at the end of last season, we agreed to a water bet. The terms were if Arsenal finishes above United.
No, it was top four, wasn't it?
Was it top four?
Yeah, you bet that Arsenal would make the top four. I bet United would make the top four. And
That's
obviously
right.
neither of us did.
Yeah.
Neither of us made the top four, so that meant that we both lost the water bet.
We did. So
we both get water. Yeah.
So for 2023, any sort of New Year's resolutions, anything planned, any trips, anything exciting?
Honestly, I hadn't thought about. Honestly, I haven't really made a New Year's resolution. The last New Year's resolution I remember making and being I'm going to stick to this New Year's resolution was in 2019 going into 2020, and I said I don't want to drink beer anymore. And I haven't had a beer since December 2019. And coincidentally, the world decided to basically set itself on fire. 2020 was just like, this guy's not drinking beer anymore. This is awful. So I haven't made a New Year's resolution since that one, because that one resulted in a global pandemic, Australia being on fire, murder hornets, you name it. So it's best that I just don't make resolutions anymore, I think.
I think that we have you to thank for everything that's happened since 2019. There's a lot that's happened.
That's don't lie. What about you, Fub? Any New Year's resolutions in the Fubler household?
So I try not to do New Year's resolutions. I kind of refocus. So it's a lot more kind of like, okay, how can I improve? How can I what sort of things do I want to cut out? So exercise is one.
You want to cut out exercise?
So trying to improve is one.
The way that you worded that, it was like things I need to cut out. So exercise is one. All right, it's a different take.
Too much exercise. I've been
Yeah,
exercising too much. My body's telling me it needs a break.
Everyone else is zigging. Bub wants to zag. He's like, no. None of this exercise stuff. 2023 is the year of no exercise.
just generally, being a better person. How can I improve? And one of the things that I've always wanted to do is improve by a little bit every day. Just in life, as a person, as a friend, as a podcast co-host. So that's one thing that I'm trying to, stick to.
That's the way to do it.
That's
you take one step every day, and all of a sudden you're 100 steps forward. You know what I mean? That's admirable. I feel like that's a really sustainable way of improving as well. Not trying to do it all at once, or just saying we're going to take incremental steps, and eventually we'll get somewhere pretty good. So, more power to you, man.
It's one thing for us to kind of go back and forth, but it's nice to kind of hear from people who are in the league, maybe people who also run their own leagues, possibly. And Satish is somebody who, I think he likes sports generally. He is a fantasy master in many ways. He was very strategic in December. There was only 2 game weeks. And he did what needed to be done to get the points necessary. Without further ado, I think we can throw it over to our interview with our December 2022 winner. Welcome, Satish. Congratulations for winning December.
That's good, Satish. Well done. Yeah.
Did you have a good New Year's, a good holiday? How was your Christmas and New Year's? I see your Christmas tree in the back there.
Still there, yeah. I know we're thinking of taking it down, but maybe we'll keep it for another month just to have it there. It's always nice.
Well, you've won now, so I mean, it's got to be good luck, obviously.
Oh yeah.
You should keep it up for the rest of the season.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, hopefully that turns my luck around for the rest of it. But no, it was a good holiday season. I was back in Toronto for a bit, and then here for the New Year's.
So funny fact, interesting fact. Nate and I both lived in Toronto for more than 2 years, maybe 3 years. How long were you in Toronto? In Canada.
I was in Canada for 9 years.
9 years. Wow, you beat me. Okay.
Yeah.
So which part were you in, Satish?
So I was born and raised from a town called Brampton, just a bit north of Toronto.
B-Town.
Yeah, B-Town represent.
Nice one. You gotta send this link to all your B-Town.
Yeah, will do.
First question, I'll kick it off. So December was a little tricky. We had World Cup finishing up, and then players trying to get back in the Premier League mentality. How did you find December?
Yeah, I think a bit of luck with the schedule was so with the World Cup, the match week was a bit short, and so I think it was before the match week. Just looking at my team and looking at the standings, the 30th or 40th, and then every team has Holland. A lot of teams have the same sort of guys, and so I don't know if I was going to make up 100 points between myself in the first place and try to make a run at the title. And so I thought, hey, might as well try to go for one of these monthly wins. And so looking at it, I just try to pick up guys that were in forms like Saka, Rashford. Play the narrative, and I was like, hey, I think Tony might be a little ticked off that he wasn't on the squad, and so put him on the roster. And then I just used the triple captain on Holland and bench boost and just try to play my odds there, and it worked out. So I think it was a strategic decision, but one that kind of worked in my favor with the schedule only being 2 weeks.
Yeah, we had a couple of those little short months now in this season, and you're right. I think that your planning was wise. Why not? You only have to win 2 weeks instead of having to win 4 or 5 or whatever a typical month is. So that was intelligent and obviously worked out. Well done. So, what's been your highlight of the season so far, Satish?
Definitely the month winning the month here. I think the season's it's been a bit shaky, bit of a rough start. I think other than kind of this month here was I guess it was a month or so ago. I played my free hit, and I was like, I tried to actually make a run at another monthly prize, and then I think I played a free hit. I picked Son and I captained him, and that was when he came off the bench, and I think he had a hat trick in 15 minutes, and so that was cool to see. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that month, but I think that my luck came through this month. But yeah, no, it's been good so far.
Who do you support, and what the reason is behind it?
So growing up, I was actually an Arsenal fan. Played a bunch of FIFA, and so guys like Walcott and all these young guys with pace coming up with Arsenal. They're a fun team to use, and so just kind of naturally gravitated towards them. And then I think recently, a lot of my friends back home are Liverpool fans. With, like I said, the recent success they've been having. So I've been keeping an eye on them. But I think at this stage, there's probably no one team. But I like to see the young guys come in, new guys come into the league and just have success. So big fan of Holland. Just big fan of the players. But no, I guess loyalty one way or the other.
Said a lot of things.
A lot of teams, a lot of players.
Said a lot of things I don't like there. But
I like the beginning bit, like the very beginning where you talked about Arsenal. You could have just left it there. I would have been very happy. Yeah.
And maybe you just cut the interview there.
It's not often in football that you find someone who supports a couple different teams, and I guess that's more of a modern thing as well. You see a lot of player support, not just in football, but I think in sports in general, you see a lot of player support.
What type of music have you been listening to, and what's been kind of keeping you entertained over the Christmas holiday and the start of 2023?
Yeah, so just being from Toronto, definitely have to support my guy Drake. He put out a few projects last year, and thought he had a good year. And then again, just a lot of Canadian artists like The Weeknd, a local kid that is kind of blowing up, Nav. Just the brown boy from Toronto, and so I can definitely relate there. And a lot of hip hop, a lot of just the new stuff coming in. So at work, Mandela, you probably see me. I always have my AirPods in, just kind of grinding away, listening to some music. So if you guys have some recommendations, definitely shoot it my way.
Well, I don't know if you realize this, Satish, but you've got a DJ in this podcast. That actually DJ'd for Drake at one point.
He did.
And the other person in this podcast ran the mic that night. For Drake. In Toronto. So that was a fun time.
Hey, one day Drake's gonna be on here.
Yeah, we'll get him on.
He wishes.
He's gonna have to win a month. He's gonna have to earn it, just like you did.
Right.
No special passes.
Been watching any TV shows recently? Any TV shows, movies, anything like that?
Yeah. So during the break, I got a chance to see Avatar 2, and I thought it was really good. So I actually wasn't a big fan of the first one. I mean, I thought it was alright. I'm not a huge fan of like all these special effects and all that sort of stuff. It's still cool to watch and definitely appreciate it, but I think the second one had a bit more of a plot or a story behind it. It's 3 hours long, but it kind of flies, flies through. Great movie. Would definitely recommend. I think once it comes on to streaming and stuff, we'll give it another watch. But that was something I got to watch over the holiday season.
Second last question before we go to the lightning round. What advice would you give yourself if you could go back in time and speak to your 21-year-old self?
Getting philosophical here.
I
think looking back, probably the one thing is I would just say just believe in yourself. The one thing I would say is like if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will.
I wanted to introduce a new segment to the show. So this is not prepared in any way, but we have the lightning round. We're just testing it out.
There's a timer up here, Bub.
There's a timer. I just put the timer up because I know I started the timer, but I haven't asked the question. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions. And you have 4 minutes and 37 seconds to answer. Okay, so this is not prepared, anybody. This is just straight off the top of the head. This is like Drake freestyling right now. Okay, so first question is, what is the best sandwich?
The best sandwich, a classic beef burger.
What is one thing that you own that you should really throw out?
That I should really throw out.
Just be honest with yourself.
That's a good one. I don't know.
It could be something small, something
that
big.
timer's ticking down.
I'm
getting stressed for you.
I don't know. Probably like some old pair of clothes that I just use as pajama tops. Probably don't fit as well, so I should probably throw those out.
Okay. What is the scariest animal to you? Could be an insect. Could be any sort of animal.
Scariest animal. Maybe just something crazy in the wildlife. I think lions or tigers are as beautiful as they are. Don't want to kind of mess around with them either.
Yeah, I wouldn't want them in my living room.
Crocodile.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good one. Actually, I might go.
Yeah.
I might go crocodile. I might switch my answer to that.
Do you prefer apples or oranges?
I go oranges.
Okay, last one. Do you have what's the most used app on your phone?
Most used app on my phone, probably Twitter.
Twitter, okay. Any good followers? Any good follows?
I just follow a bunch of guys that report on sports. Get all my news from there.
Okay. Fantasy as well, football fantasy, EPL.
I haven't I don't have it on my timeline, but definitely before the season, I found a couple of those analysts and trying to find the sleepers and all that.
Nice.
A couple seasons removed, but yeah, some good stuff on there.
Nice.
We'll see how it goes with Elon.
Bob's still fishing for tips here.
Look, I'm trying to do it indirectly now. I'm trying to do it inconspicuously, covertly. Okay, so really, really happy that you joined the league, Satish. And is there anybody who you want to shout out to? Anybody that you want to kind of give a thanks to, either back home or here, before we wrap it up?
Yeah, probably. I think you guys mentioned a couple times. So I run a fantasy football, a baseball, and then an American football, baseball, and basketball league. So our league is called FSG. So shout out to those guys. Definitely will send them the link here and have them take a look. And then being a commissioner of my own, shout out to you guys, man. Like running the league. I think
it's that guy Mandela for sure.
I mean, as a commissioner, sometimes it feels like people just think we just collect the money and at the end we give it away and that's about it. But there's a lot that goes into it. You guys go above and beyond, and doing stuff like this is awesome. Getting everyone involved and a lot to look forward to. Even having a pretty deep league, 50 plus guys. When you're not kind of in the top 5, 10, 15 or whatever, there's always still a chance to do something and try to win something. And so I kind of took advantage of that. And looking forward to being part of this league and honored to be part of it. So thank you guys for putting all this together.
Oh, thank you, Satish. And I may join one of your other leagues. I know Nate does NFL for sure, and I think Nate does. What else do you do?
I'm ridiculously involved in fantasy football, NFL side, and fantasy basketball. I played fantasy basketball since I was like 12. I don't know why I've still done it, but I still do. It's unfortunately fantasy takes up a lot of my life.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, the missus is beside me. And I'm always on checking my ESPN app or my FPL app. And you have to get off of this.
We're playing a game about another wild. Yeah. Why do we take it so seriously? What we do. Yeah. I think that we're going to let Satish sort of dictate exactly what we're doing, but we basically gave Satish a list of 10 or so different statistics that he can pick from. And he's going to pick 2 that he wants to add for us to add together. So Satish is going to make everybody do math again. So you're going to have to add together 2 things. We gave Satish his list beforehand. He's picked his 2 stats that he's going to want us to use for the Crown and Anchor that's coming up for game week 21, I believe. Correct, Bob?
Yes, that's right. So
Satish, if you're ready, you can let everybody know what Crown and Anchor is.
Sounds good. I think let's go with total goals and total offsides. So add up to 2, and hopefully not too much math involved there, but
not too much math, not too much confusion. Sometimes
with the double yellow cards and all that, just keep it nice and easy. So.
Wait for that question. I remember I was waiting for it because I was like, someone's gonna ask it. Question. All right, so total goals and total offsides for game week 21, which starts January 21st, I believe. We'll get the link obviously in the description of the YouTube video for everybody to fill out their question pro form. Thank you all for doing that, by the way. It makes our lives a lot easier just to have it populated in a spreadsheet for us one time. So that's really helpful. And we'll need to stick a password up as well when we found.
If I just can find it, there we go. So the password is there. I want to just say congratulations to the last winner. We don't usually give much cred to Crown and Anchor, but it was won by TJ. And it was away team goals and yellow cards. The correct number was 59. TJ had 58. And I think Nate, you had 57.
I think I had 52 or 3 or something
52,
like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I cried as it went past me.
Yeah, me too. I had like 10 and I cried when it went past me as well. I was a lot sooner than you. I just want to, if I can make my money back and I can break even, then I'm happy. That's my goal. Not asking for much. 1 month or 1 Crown and Anchor. I think it's doable.
Oh yeah.
We'll see.
Would you take that, or would you take Arsenal in the league, Bob?
Arsenal in the league without any doubt. I don't even need to think about it.
For those who maybe don't know, I'm an Orlando Magic fan. That's what I have for my sins. And we recently won 7 in a row, and I got a little too excited, and I thought, let me go place a bet on us to make the playoffs, because that's how low we set the bar for ourselves as Orlando Magic fans at this point in our lives. So I wanted to go place a bet that we'd make the playoffs, and Bet365 would not let me. So if it turns out that we do make the playoffs in another 3 months or so, I'll be pretty pissed off.
Hey, you guys have a good group of young guys.
We have a great group of young guys. And it's been a pleasure watching us this season, and I have not been able to say that for about 5 years. So I'm 9:30 tonight. I'll be switching it back on. We got another game tonight against Golden State, so here we go.
Nate, how'd you become an Orlando fan?
I think when I was a kid, I had a thing for stars.
Okay.
Because I also claimed to be a Dallas Cowboys fan, which I'm actually not. I couldn't care less about the Cowboys. But also as a kid, I distinctly remember I was born in '88, and I remember like getting ready for school in the mornings. And obviously living in Bermuda, we didn't really get a lot of sports live back in the 90s, especially smaller teams. But obviously in 94, 95, et cetera, that was when Shaq and Penny were huge for the Magic. And I remember getting ready for school in the mornings, and the news would be playing replays from the night before. And so Shaq and Penny were obviously on replays a lot on the news the next morning. And so I became a Magic fan just from watching those in the morning. Been a Magic fan since the 90s. I ended up even going and living in Orlando for 2 years. I'm probably a bigger Magic fan than I am a United fan, and that's pretty insane because my life is United. But yeah, I don't talk about the Magic too much because it's painful.
Hey, I think over the next couple of years, should be.
I've learned not to get my hopes up. I just enjoy the ride and take the pain as it comes.
When I first mentioned to you the Premier League, I think you were like, yes, definitely yes. You were down for it.
Yeah, you said fantasy, and I was like, you're not saying anything else.
Yeah. Enough said. Let's do it.
So yeah, thank you for being a part of the league. Also, I think one of the great things also is the fact that you know what it's like to run a league. You know how much time it takes in between, in the behind the scenes, to kind of make it all work smoothly. So I think that's one of the best things about running the league is when nobody notices all the things that are going on in the back because there's nothing going wrong, then that means that you're doing a good job. And that's what we try to do here. So congratulations again. You did a great job in December. Like I said, there's not going to be any more 2022 winners anymore. You're the last one for 2022.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for having me, guys. Been a pleasure, and hopefully you do this again. So
we'll see. Well, let Nate and I have a turn first, and then we can talk about doubles and triples. I'm just messing. But yeah, great having you on the show as well. You're a natural. And I don't know if you had anything else, Nate. But
no, yeah, it was good to meet you, Satish. And congrats, man. Congrats. And maybe we'll see you again. You never know.
Cool. All right. Have a good night, man.
Yeah, take care. See you guys.
Fantastic. Incredible.
Great to chat to Satish. Yeah, that was an enjoyable interview for sure. They are all enjoyable, but that was also enjoyable.
Before we go any further, I think it's prudent for us to make sure that everybody understands the Crown and Anchor. We would like to get 100% participation. And I think there are always questions. I think this one is one of the more straightforward ones. But I think we can still go through it a bit, Nate.
So we're looking at game week 21, correct? Game week 21,
right.
Which also starts on January 21st.
Yes.
The deadline's going to be before the games on January 21st.
I'll pop it up
it's
here.
Going to be, we're looking at the total goals and the total offsides for this game week. So these are 10 games. How many goals they're going to be? How many offsides they're going to be? Add those two numbers together, and that will be your Crown and Anchor guess. So that is what we are doing for Crown and Anchor in January.
Yes, we have some good matchups.
I think we're doing pretty straightforward. It's just going to be closest to. Doesn't matter if you go over. We're not pushing the pot. We're just going to keep it. So if it's split, the pot split. Nice and simple.
Yes. So deadline. One thing people always try and do is get it in right before the deadline. So it's going to be Saturday, January 21st, like you said, Nate. And
which can I say?
Kickoff. Yeah.
Which can I say? Love it. Love the last minute entries coming in.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't know if it makes a difference. Are they looking? Maybe they're looking at injuries and lineups and health of the team, or who's in form. Who scored a hat trick at practice.
It's all good. It's all good. Get them in as late as you want, but no later than before the first game. So no later than 8:30
Yeah.
on Saturday, the 21st of January.
So can we talk a little bit about the games that are happening on that day?
Look, there's some big games coming up
yeah.
over the next couple of weeks. Not
Yeah.
just, I mean, I think the next couple of weeks are going to have a big say in what happens toward the end of the season.
Yeah.
Who's playing for what, etc.
Arsenal United are on the docket for the Sunday the 22nd. That's gonna. I'm just thinking of Crown and Anchor here. That's all.
Who's
just thinking of
giving
Crown
Arsenal
and Anchor.
their only loss of the year?
That would be nobody has given Arsenal a loss in 2023. In 2023, which is the year. The year is 2023.
Somebody has given Arsenal a draw in 2023, though, so they've already dropped points.
Yes,
turn of the new year,
but we have not lost a game this year.
This calendar year, correct? You have not lost a game this calendar year.
Yes, no, but United does have a good team. United, I remember the United Arsenal game, and you guys won. You guys got the 3 points.
That was
you
good.
guys did what you needed to do.
So, look, we're going to be at the Emirates. Arsenal's flying right now.
That's it.
In all seriousness, the way Arsenal's been playing has been very impressive. I wouldn't have anticipated that. I think we know that. I probably don't anticipate that Arsenal's going to keep it up for the whole year, but take nothing away from what they've accomplished so far this year. They've been fantastic. So, well done to Arsenal. It all ends on the 22nd of January, but well done for now.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to a very fun Crown and Anchor, and the password for anybody who needs the password, it's right there for everybody. And I do really want to say a special thank you to everybody in the league. It's been a fun season so far. Are we halfway? We're talking about
almost. I think most teams between 17 and 19 games. So some teams are halfway and most are just short of halfway.
Yeah. So it's been a great season so far, and I think we do have a little bit more fun to come. I think we were talking either backstage or a little earlier about how exciting the finale to the season could be. A lot more goals in it, a lot more surprises, I'm sure. Especially when it comes to relegation fights, and then also Champions League battles, and even first and second, who takes first is still up for grabs. We're still a ways away from that.
There's so much football left. There's so much football, and again, we don't know what effects playing a World Cup in the middle of the season is going to have on player fitness. Fatigue toward the end of the season. It's going to be. I think we're in for a really interesting second half of the season.
I wanted to just give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Just for Kicks. We both have our hats on, and they are very, very clean. I do wear this from time to time whenever I'm going out, and we also have the Just for Kicks jackets as well. If anybody is interested in supporting our sponsors, well, best of luck, Nate.
Cool, Pop.
Cool. Have a good night.
Same to you, man. Check you later.
Check you later.